Hey, Brandy here. I just wanted to kind of give this little introduction into the second half of the video from last week. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get right into it. So the third book in the series is Fragile Eternity. Honestly, at this very moment, I'm going to tell you right now, besides the rest of the series, I have read like 4 or 5 other books. And I cannot remember what's this one about. What? But wait, I'm gonna guess. And she's gonna tell me if I'm wrong or not. So in this book, I believe that... Ooh, this one's more about Seth, isn't it? Yeah. The main highlights that I can remember is that Seth goes to the Sealy Queen. Is that not... High Queen? He goes to the High Queen, and he basically, in a weird way that I won't spoil, something happens and he gets back sent down to Earth. I did actually thoroughly enjoy this book. I thought it was really interesting. I liked Seth's stories. I liked the things that happened to him. I don't remember the meaty parts of the book because I only cared about Seth's part at this point.
I'm really surprised that the one thing that you didn't mention on that timeline was your chance to say Bananock tricks him into going.
She does! Banana tricks him into going to see the High Queen. There is one that I called Cinnamon Roll. Cinnabon. I called one Cinnabon. That's what it was.
Which would be her.
No. That was the girl with the hole in her back.
Hole in her back?
Yeah, Seth falls into her for a second, but it's kind of like a void. They're in the park playing.
Oh, the water fairy.
That one's Cinnabon.
Sorha.
That's the
queen's
queen's
name. We would have to have that in order to go Sorha.
So anyways, I wrote that this book is a lot more interesting. Oh, so yeah. Again, like I said, I wish they would have followed Seth more into the world of fairy because they didn't. He literally had like a couple chapters worth and they were not put together, of course. It literally went from everyone around the block, then to Seth, everyone around the block, then back to Seth. He didn't get a big part in this book for what was going on with him.
But, to be fair, the reason why is because no one is supposed to know where he's at.
True. Like, everybody in Earth's realm has no idea what's going on with Seth. He is MIA. Bananock told him, basically.
Just disappears.
Up and left.
No goodbye, no hello.
Oh, and look, I even wrote, I don't remember much else in this. Yay.
Yeah. So, he leaves Ashlyn. Mind you, we haven't even mentioned that.
We haven't. We've been trying not to spoil things, but here we are. We're gonna spoil shit. So, at this point, Ashlyn has become the fairy queen. Or the summer queen. And she's in love with Seth, but does not want to be with Keenan, but needs to be with Keenan to make the court powerful again.
So they want to co-rule, like co-parent.
Keenan's not okay with that, but Ashlyn is. And Seth is iffy about it because he knows Keenan's intentions. Because to rule the summer court, it's all about love, lust, fun, light times, good times, summer. Which here in Vegas is not those things.
Yeah, summer court has visited Vegas.
Very much.
We're feeling it.
So hot. So Seth wants to become Fae to stay with Ashlyn
because she's
immortal from this point forward. Since she's started to rule, she's immortal, and Seth has an expiration date, like we all do. So he goes to Bananock. He doesn't go to Bananock. She kind of finds him.
She follows him.
And now he wants... first he goes to Neil. Neil tells him, no, it's impossible.
Yeah. So there is...
Keenan says it's impossible.
Yeah. Keenan. You have... That's who I want to sit down and have some conversations with.
You have some explaining to do. No, he has more explaining to do in the next book. Or is it the end of this one?
He has explaining to do through the whole thing.
Anyway.
Well, no, in this... Specifically in the...
Because they have no idea where he's at, but everybody starts to figure it out.
All the major fairies know where he's at.
But Keenan does just...
Keenan's a major fairy.
He has no idea. He would never intentionally hurt Ashlyn like that.
No.
He loves her too much.
Yeah.
Now that I've talked about it, I remember what the book's about.
But to just mention one thing. Bananok is the embodiment of discord.
War.
Her whole
everything. Like, literally
existence is to cause chaos.
I love her.
Bananok and Sorha are sisters, and they're the first of the very first. Ever. Everything.
Ooh, and then what's their... Devlin?
Devlin
is the brother that...
You jumped.
We'll wait. We'll get to that one later.
Well, he does show up here because...
But very little.
Very little, but he doesn't like Seth.
Right.
Because he's the son of...
Sorha
and Bananok, but they treat him like their...
brother. They call them brother.
Yeah. He's not brother. Bananok and Sorha see the future. They see timelines.
Yes.
All existing possible
not their
outcomes. Not their own and not anybody that's connected to them. Bananok sees all these timelines and she follows Seth and convinces him, so she can see.
Because she knows that he wants to become immortal.
So she convinces him to go visit Sorha, who is the unchanging queen. Let me tell you who my favorite character is.
Oh, really? You like her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unchanging queen, who secretly changes.
Fast forward, she makes Seth... She gives Seth a part of her. So he becomes Fae, and is now basically... She wants a son.
She makes him reborn.
Yeah, so it's kind of...
So he is
It's a weird situation right there, I will say.
It's adorable because he didn't...
It was super cute. But it was like weird how it was just like, I wanted a son, you're mine now. When she could have just been like, instead of like fake trickery, she could have just been like, I'll give you immortality if you become my son.
Well, the thing was, and it's... I'm not sure that this is the designated idea for it.
Okay.
But after reading it multiple times, I really think Sorha was really trying to fairy trick him into being her partner. Not exactly her son, because she tries to trick him into kissing her.
Yes, and then he
figures it out, and he kisses her hand.
Yeah, but she still kisses him.
But it because she had to.
Oh.
You know why, right?
Yeah, to give a part of her.
No, that's not why. She gave a part of her before that. She kisses him to ease his pain. She shuts him down. Because his entire body is going to be transformed.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
But when he tricks her into kissing her hand.
Yes.
And there's a moment where her...
Yes, she kind of like gets taken aback.
And she's like, wait a minute. And it
Hold up.
makes her very fond of him in a different light.
Because he's smart.
Because he's smart. Yeah. And that's why she's like, and he's talented and he's artsy. And she has a affiliation for snatching up artists.
Yeah.
So I think, she's like snatched up, like Kurt Cobain did really to himself. That's what goes through my head when I read these. I'm not joking.
1, 2, 3. Cheers.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
So the fourth book, because that's the fifth. Fourth book is Radiant Shadows. So far, I don't really care about the storyline. Not much is happening, just Devlin living his best life. I'll get back to it. The thing with Annie could have been so cool. And then this insta-love is fucking killing me. Let's round back. First of all, the beginning of this book. This book is about Devlin, mainly. I don't understand who this Dreamwalker person is. I don't remember if they say it, because literally I didn't care. They should have done that in the beginning. They shouldn't have waited until the middle to be like, oh, this is who it is, by the way.
Well, that's...
I thought she had a cool purpose in the fifth book. I think it's the fifth one. Maybe it's the end of this one. She had a cool purpose then. So basically she can alter your dream.
Well, she doesn't know that.
But she kind of just wakes up in Fae somehow, and Devlin sees her or interacts with her somehow, and then he gets sent to Earth and basically tells her to fuck off and stay.
She goes to sleep in her time in a cave, and when she wakes up, she's in Fairy. And so she's walking around Fairy.
With no body, just a, what do you call that?
Well, no, you don't know that.
We do know that.
No, she's a...
Either way, we've already explained we got spoilers going
Devlin is talking to her, and he's like, how did you get here? Because Sorha does not let anybody into Fairy without her knowing.
It's all secret tunnels.
So so he sees her and he's like, homie, how'd you get in here without any of us knowing, without red flags being signed up?
Yeah.
Well, and he's talking to her and he's like, oh, I'm not gonna hurt you, and something happens, or no, she passes out and he catches her, and she falls in him.
Yeah.
Like, goes
kind of like,
into...
Yeah, is like, what is that?
Where she
projecting?
went.
Astral projecting?
Astral projecting!
But that's not...
Boom! You got it.
I know, but that's astral projecting when it's not the right word. It's fine. Whatever. So that's how he finds out that she doesn't have a body. He goes to Earth. Because Bananok keeps not fucking shit up. She's doing what she's supposed to do. She keeps causing chaos, and he needs to go set her straight or some bullshit. Like I said, I don't remember the story too much.
Sorha sends him to Earth because, again...
Oh, to look after Seth!
No! That's not till later! Jeez Louise! You can always tell when she doesn't like a book when she blows through it. And then she needs me to help
fill in the gaps. That's all.
But that was the whole point. I wanted her to read them. I knew she wasn't going to like these books, to be fair. I knew you would have a fondness for them, and at least you could say, hey, I finally read this book Aubrey's been telling me to read for 15 years. So, basically, at least we're on that level. I knew she wasn't going to like these books.
We're still on Devlin.
Obviously, like we said earlier, she can see timelines and stuff. So she sees somebody's timeline, and it affects things negatively in the future. So she tells Devlin, who is her assassin, to go to Earth, but she sends him there to kill somebody. It will assassinate somebody. And
Annie.
No.
A-N-I. I know, but that's her name. Sorry, Annie.
So he goes to go assassinate somebody, and when he realizes it's a young child, and he just can't do it. Which is weird because he has no emotions otherwise.
None.
Oh, Sleepwalker tells him not to do it.
Yeah.
That was a spoiler.
She just wants you to stay. Because she loves him. Back to Rabbit and his sisters.
What we haven't said is Rabbit, Tish, and Annie are Gabriel, part of the Hunts, half-breeds.
Down the line, I don't remember how, they find out that, or it's Neil, who is now king of the Dark Court. He finds out that Annie's blood could possibly heal them from within type shit.
So the Dark Court gets their nourishment from other people's emotions. And they feed off of lust and terror and fear. All happiness. Of the negative emotions like Summer Court does.
Oh, yeah.
So they feed off of it. Well, they are running out of nourishment because now Ashlyn and Keenan are now unbound and have their power, so they can't feed off of the Summer Court, who is severely lacking in their power. Yeah. But Tish is the only half-breed that can feed off of humans.
No, by touch and emotion.
But humans too, and that's what the whole point of...
If they would have explored that better, and I know that they were starting to, like Neil was getting into it, but if they would have explored her blood being a cure or a health ball kind of thing, that would have been really interesting. I feel like they cut it short because Devlin came into the picture and insta-loved with Annie. And it was just annoying at that point. I hated reading that part because he had to protect her at all costs because this and that. And now he loves her and blah, blah, blah. And I was just, I hate insta-love. I hate it.
But the thing is the reason why he had to protect her was because they were going to rip her to shreds.
True.
They were going to drain her of all of her blood.
Yes.
That wasn't what they said they were going to do, but you get that
It wasn't going to be good.
Yeah,
basically.
Because they were going to...
Oh, we also forgot to mention, the Dark Court is kind of chained to the High Court like the summer is chained to winter.
Yes.
And so the High Court needs... I don't know if they need balance. I know the Dark Court needs balance.
Absolutely.
They do need it.
And and also while Bananok is causing chaos throughout this whole series, the reason why no one can just up and kill her is because if Bananok dies... then there's a possibility that Sorha dies, and they're the start, so you can't kill the start, because, every vampire, every fairy series, you kill the star,
Bloodline's
and it
gone.
just trickles down the line.
Everybody's gone.
Pieced out. And fairy balances humanity.
Yes.
So if fairy dies, humanity dies. So it's all about balance, really, with these.
Fifth and last book is Darkest Mercy.
She wrote these down on paper. I was thinking,
Well, I was at work. Thoughts on this book. Again, we'll say it all, and then I'll wrap around. Keenan would have just given Ash the full summer court. From the moment she told him she didn't love him, this book could have been ended at book 1.
okay, so
Book 1, the fight scene was amazing. I actually really enjoyed that part. Not sure how I feel about Keenan giving up his winter/immortality to then just get it right back. Again, back to how we said, Keenan needed Ashlyn to unbound him and unlock the full summer court. But the whole fucking time, he's like, we need to love each other so our court can get strong. The whole time. There's no moment where there's a slight moment where he's like, yeah, we can try it. And then immediately tries to seduce her. Like, it just... Anyways, so if he just would have given, he gives her the court. She is queen now.
Gives her his power. The summer power is split between regions.
Yes.
It's split between her and him.
Yes.
They're the only court that needs two regents to cover the court.
He's able to just up and be like, all right, I'm out. Bye. Here's full fucking power. Good luck.
But the reason why I don't agree, because he couldn't, because he would have killed her. The reason why she could take in all of it is because she had been regent.
So then why couldn't he be like, all right, fine, give me a little bit. I'll give you everything. I'm a dick.
Because he was trying to win her over.
It's creepy. That was my big problem.
But that's what I'm saying. You have to be in his mind.
But he loves
900 years old.
But that's what I'm saying. He knew he was interested in Donia. He could have up and just been like, all right, fine, in a couple years we'll split. When you're strong enough to handle the power, I'm going to go be with Donia.
Fairies don't think that way.
She's my true love.
Donia. There's not a single book that's like that. Not a single story written thing of Fae lore where that's at.
Donia. The whole time he's dragging these two girls around. I could not stand the man.
Donia.
Poor fucking Donia. She didn't deserve that.
Let me just tell you, I think he gets what's coming to him. Just saying.
So then, skipping the fight scene, because we won't spoil that one
amazing.
for you. It was so cool. That was really cool.
This is one of the best books of the whole thing.
Definitely. I think I actually rated that one 5.
But,
no, it was probably 4 and everybody else was 3.
The fragile eternities.
Keenan gives up the summer court, like I said. And
power. Stop saying it.
He gives up the summer power. So he is half winter, half summer, because his mother was this winter queen. His father was the summer king. And so he has both powers. He denounces his summer powers and can go live amongst the winter fae. And he could be with Donia. And that was great because I was so happy for Donia.
Donia goes from
Donia's the winter queen
girl, and then she turns to the winter queen because they kill Bera, because Bera is a
B word, not banana either. In order to help Donia, Keenan gives, which I did like the Death Fae. That was cool too. I don't remember their names right now.
Oh, but it's also a hard name.
They were really cool.
The twins?
Yeah, I can't remember their names. Anyways, Donia gets a big boo-boo, and in order to save her, Keenan gives up his winter powers to help.
His essence.
Okay, yeah, that works. To help heal her. And then literally a chapter later, gets restored. Which I didn't like. That there was a tad spoiler in the beginning of that. And yes, you do know the names, because it says it clearly. I didn't appreciate that, because I hate when books do that. Just like Outlander did the same fucking thing. So I won't read the Outlander series. They fucked me up on it. I didn't like that part. Literally, I get it, because Donia loved him, so she's going to obviously restore the winter essence in him so they can be together. Which, get it, girl, Donia, I believe in you. Why go through that then? Literally just snip that part out and just be like, alright, you have my powers. When you're ready,
but
give them back.
I think it was to give him some sort of
heroic event to make him
I wouldn't even say heroic. It was more of a I'm a douche nozzle through this entire series, but I have 2 snippets of events where I do what I should have done, like you've said, for the 2 women I love. Because he does love Ashlyn.
He does, yes. But it's a
different kind of love.
Yeah,
and
it was weird.
Shit.
Yeah. He's better off with Donya. My final thoughts on the series were, I felt like she wrote out key parts of the story and then just kind of jumbled a bunch of nonsense as fillers. Like, just to, like, this is what I want to happen in the story. Let's just make it happen somehow. Like, I don't think she kind of, like, thought it through. Half the time I couldn't keep up with what's going on, and that may be because of the audiobook, but still, I just felt lost a lot of the times. Like, I felt like I was reading short stories. I felt like I was reading one cohesive storyline. And I know you said that it does jump around a lot, but me coming into this is how I felt. It was a lot of jumbled mess that I personally got a feeling of. For a newbie to the Fae world, I feel like it would be a hard time keeping up with all the courts and all of their, like, what they do, who is the bad guy, who isn't the bad guy, what they need, what they lack, what they seek after, what...
I can understand that, because, like, the only, like, real, like, true lore thing that, like, sticks out in here, besides the whole different, like, Winterport, Summerport, the only thing that really stuck out was the don't say thank you, and then also obviously the Seers aspect, and then Seers being snatched away.
Yeah,
to Fairy.
But yeah, so like I was saying, as in, like, let's say I'm reading these series for a Fae introduction in general, but, like, I wouldn't understand that balance is a thing, because they don't really talk about it until the end.
No, they talk about it throughout the book.
Do they? I don't feel like it. Well, okay, so then another thing, like the Dark Court, they don't express that they do. I just feel like, so the Dark and the High Court being connected until the end wasn't a thing you needed to know. Like, not needed to know, but you didn't understand. Again, I don't know who the bad guy is. The Dark Court makes it sound like they're terrible people, but then they, like, helped out. No. And then the High Court, Bonanock, was...
There's only one bad person that takes their badness too far, which is Bonanock. Everybody else...
Yes, but she's designed to be that way.
Yeah, but everybody else, there is no such thing as good and evil. It's
honestly, just
balance.
Because I did write this at, like, middle of May kind of stuff. I don't see, for a first time never understanding the courts, never knowing anything, I don't feel like it's a good introduction to the world. But if you have history, like I knew because of Shadow of Bones, even though they didn't talk about Seelie and Unseelie, I had some idea of the courts and how they work.
That's one thing I don't like about this, is that it isn't Seelie and Unseelie.
Yeah,
and
I kind of wish they talked about that.
They only say, I think, Seelie once in the very beginning.
Yeah. And that's the more term I know, instead of like a high court kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's why I think this is a good introduction, because it's not throwing out all of these words and all of these different things where you're like, well, what do you mean Unseelie and Seelie and like you were saying, good and evil and all the different lores and don't take food. Well, they do. That was another thing. They do say don't accept food from a fairy. But,
food and drink. Yeah, very precise. Unless you guys are, just in case you guys run into some fairy out in the world,
never accept food from somebody you don't know.
But you have to remember, Keenan fucking got her with the wine, so don't accept food and drink. Food and drinks.
Well, you can't accept... Now I'm getting too into it. You can't accept Fae wine. That's what it was.
How are you supposed to know what it is?
Well, he says it's...
No, he doesn't. He says here.
He says it's special wine, and it's summer wine.
I want you to drink.
I mean, if somebody hands you a drink that's glowing orange, and you pick it up and you're like, wow, this tastes like sunshine.
To be fair, though, he also made her dance for like 17 hours. So, yeah, I'm fucking thirsty.
And you're also supposed to dance with the fairies. I mean, there's lots of things that you shouldn't do that she does. And especially coming from a girl who
can see it and knows about them.
And was raised don't do it. But that's what all books are.
You have to have a plot and you have to have it. I get it. I understand it. Yeah. Overall, So, as for Wicked Lovely, I rated that as a 4 out of 5 stars. So, Ink Exchange got a 3 out of 5 star. Fragile Eternity got a 4 out of 5. Radiant Shadow got a 4 out of 5. And Darkest Mercy got a 4 out of 5. So, majority, I would rate this series as a 4 out of 5 series. I had my opinions on it. It's not a bad series. It's a very good high school series, which again, I do love YA.
And I pre-warned that this isn't just YA. It's very, very, very young YA. And I'm adding the some young weirdly, YA, even though that's an oxymoron.
But some weirdly, like, I'm trying to be so much more mature and older than I need to be.
Minus sex and things like that.
That's why I'm saying that.
But the only time that there's sex in there is
Ink Exchange.
Which is not the good kind of sex. So, problems. Well, to be fair,
I was gonna say,
this one ends.
I love how we both thought of that.
Yeah, that one moment. The one moment where it's rainbows and sunshine. So
that is what I read in May. Well, technically we both read because she did audiobook along with me. She definitely blew through them a lot faster because I was mixing between the two.
Would you reread it again?
I would not.
Does this put you off on the next series I want you to read?
No, I'm excited for those because it is not.
Is literally the complete opposite.
I have to convince her to at least read, since I read these ones and I'm going to read another series, she can at least read one of mine.
I guess.
At least one. And I'll only give her the first 5. So she doesn't even have to get that 5. We'll see what happens.
Comment, like, and subscribe. Bye! Those muchachos.
Just in case.
Oh yeah. Should we get all this planned before filming?
Yeah.
Blinded by the light. Aslan.
It's Ashlyn in my eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as I read the book, that's the thing about books. Like, unless you walk up to the author and you're like, hey, how do you pronounce this name?
Either way, I'm notorious for not knowing names very well.
A little bit. It's like your thing. It's cute.
What is it called? Where I need somebody just in the room with me issue.
We had that discussion.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I have, and that's why I never get shit done, because he never wants to hang out with me.
Oh, that's right. She reads audiobooks fast forward.
It's only a 1.3.
Weird.
There's nothing wrong with that.
They're like talking like this the whole time.
Some people talk like that. I talk like that sometimes. Obviously, anxiety. From my videos. That's
anyways.
How I talk. It's warm. And there was a lot more than I thought. I don't know why I do that. I have to do it. Where did I even learn that from?
I don't know, but I've never really noticed until recently.
I do it every time.
Juan goes, do you hear that thing when he does?
I don't know why. It's because it's like, I feel like it gets stuck right there. So when I do it, it kind of like...
Comment, like, and subscribe. Do it.
I hate it.
No.